Hey guys, and welcome back to the 1 HP challenge series. I apologize for the wait. These videos have taken me a surprisingly long time to make, but here we are now. So as many of you pointed out in the comments of the last episode, the Brain of Confusion is a very useful item that I'm going to want to get. However, when I created my world, I left the type on random and ended up getting corruption. So because of this unfortunate oversight, I decided to create a Crimson world and take some of the materials from it so that I would be able to fight the Brain of Cthulhu in my current 1 HP world. I made sure to grab enough items to craft a boss summon, and I also blew up some of the stone so that I could create an artificial Crimson to fight the boss in. Once I had collected what I needed, I returned to my main world and began placing the Crimstone near my arena. Then, with my newly created Crimson biome, I summoned the boss. For this fight, I used a combination of the Demonite bow with Jester's arrows and the quad barrel shotgun from my previous boss fight. The first half of the fight was pretty easy. By lining up the Brain's minions and shooting Jester's arrows through them, I was able to make quick work of the first phase. And once I had entered the second phase of the fight, I switched to the quad barrel shotgun to do higher DPS to the boss. Now, this second phase of the fight is slightly RNG. I had to hope that the boss wouldn't teleport on top of me or close to me, as this would basically be an instant kill, and it had happened to me a couple times when I was practicing the fight. But luckily, on my real attempt, this didn't happen, and I was able to defeat the boss. With my newly acquired Brain of Confusion, I then set out to begin powering myself up with some new upgrades. The very first thing I did was I crafted a better pickaxe, and then using this pickaxe, I set out on a mission to complete my unfinished elevator from the last episode. After dealing with some annoying enemies and lava pockets, I did eventually finish this task. Now, the main reason I wanted to reach the Underworld is that I wanted to get the Demon Scythe weapon. So the next thing I did was I created a safe entrance to the biome, and I built a platform to stand on. However, this task proved to be surprisingly difficult, and after dying quite a few times, I decided to take a break from the Underworld and get some gear upgrades elsewhere. The first thing that I tried after this was smashing a second orb in hopes of getting a Vilethorn, but I struck out and got a light pet instead. So next, I decided to try and get the Grey Zappinator, a very powerful weapon that is rarely sold by the traveling merchant. To do this, I slept in my bed and waited for merchants to spawn, and after around an hour of waiting, I finally did get it. Now that I had the Zappinator, I set out to find a meteor so that I could craft the armor that would let me use it without needing mana. The meteor that I ended up finding was located in a corruption tunnel, and thus was pretty hard to deal with. So I decided to head back to base and craft an obsidian skull so that the collection process would be slightly easier. And this did help a lot, but it still didn't save me from dying multiple times. After this very tedious collection process was over, I did manage to get enough meteorite to craft the armor. But unfortunately, this is when I really ran into some problems. See, normally around this time in a playthrough, I would fight a goblin army so that I could gain access to the Goblin Tinkerer, giving me the ability to reforge my gear, purchase rocket boots, and craft new powerful accessories at the Tinkerer's workshop. However, the Goblin Army event has a spawn requirement of 200 health on your character, and even the Goblin Battle Standard will not work unless this health criteria is met. And seeing as the whole point of this playthrough is that I will only ever have 1 health, it will never be possible for me to get the Goblin Tinkerer. This means that for the rest of the pre-hard mode bosses, I will be severely limited when it comes to mobility items. I won't be able to get rocket boots, I can't craft any upgrades to my Hermes boots, and I can't combine any of my mobility items like my double jump with my balloon and horseshoe. Once I enter hard mode, this won't be quite as much of a problem because I'll be able to get wings, but for now, I'm kind of in trouble. So I decided that it would be in my best interest to at the very least get my hands on the best double jump that I can, this being the Sandstorm in a bottle. However, my world didn't contain any desert pyramids, so in order to farm for this accessory, I decided to start creating some new worlds to search. And surprisingly, after only 4 worlds, I was able to find what I was looking for. Now, with all of my new gear, I decided to return to the Underworld and resume my quest for the Demon Scythe. Little did I know, however, this would be the hardest thing that I would attempt in this episode. According to the length of my recordings, I spent around 4.5 hours in the Underworld trying to get this dumb weapon. Here in my inventory, you can see some of my graves from the deaths while farming. And the key word there is some, because a good amount of graves were lost to lava. But with over 100 demons eliminated, I didn't get the weapon. Yeah. After all of that farming to get the Demon Scythe, I still haven't gotten it, which is crazy, because it only has a 1 in 35 chance of dropping, so I guess I'm just unlucky. But in order to prevent this video from taking even longer than it already has, I am unfortunately going to end this episode here. Will I manage to get the Demon Scythe? Can I beat the Queen Bee with only 1 HP? Find out next time, whenever that is. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, consider subscribing to be notified when I upload episode 3 of the 1 HP series. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.